So Prabhupada would sometimes say, as people ask him, who is that girl with Krishna? Who is the girl with Krishna? Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna. So I'd just like to read a little bit, some prayers to Srimati Radharani. And Govindandini Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvashva Sarvakanta Sirumani. Radha is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda. She is also the enchantress of Govinda. She is the be-all and end-all of Govinda and the crest jewel of all his consorts. One time Krishna was speaking to one of his devotees, and he said that I have so much love and affection for Srimati Radharani. If someone just says her name, if someone just says Ra, someone says Ra, I make that person's devotion so steady. And if someone says Da, I want to run to that person just to hear the sound vibration of Radha. So today, a very special day, and actually in our line of Vaishnavas and Gaudiya Vaishnavas, especially from the time of Madhavendra Puri and of course Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the worship of Srimati Radharani has become paramount. And one cannot actually get the mercy of Krishna unless, of course, he gets the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So very important for us to understand a little bit about Srimati Radharani. She is not ordinary girl, just like Krishna is not ordinary boy. She is not ordinary girl. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and she is the immediate expansion of Krishna. Actually, it is said that the Lord has three energies: Bahiranga Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. There's Bahiranga Shakti, is the external and the internal energy, and Tatastha Shakti, the marginal, or the you and I, the living entities. And of the internal energy, there are three aspects. One is called Sandini, Sandini Shakti. Sandini is eternality. And one is called Samvit Shakti, the transcendental knowledge. And another one is called Ladini Shakti, that is the transcendental pleasure. So this is specifically, Srimati Radharani is manifesting Ladini Shakti. She is the personification of Ladini Shakti. So she is expanded immediately from Krishna. It is said actually originally in the spiritual world at one point in eternality, Krishna expanded his abode. And there he went to a deep forest, and there was one big mountain called Sapasringa. That mountain, Sapasringa, later became Govardhan in this world. But thus he sat beneath Sapasringa in the beautiful forest and gardens, and he thought to himself, how I want to expand myself into so many and enjoy in so many ways. So immediately at that time, to his left, manifests Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is the immediate expansion. They are non-different. One is the lover and the other is the beloved. One is the supreme power and one is the energy of the power. You cannot separate. Sometimes you may see a painting of Radha. There's a very famous painting of Radha and Krishna where they are almost like in one body. One half is Krishna and the other half is Srimati Radharani. She's got her hand around his neck. He's got his hand and arm around her neck. They are like one. One of my god sisters, she painted this painting and had it hung in the Melbourne temple, and Prabhupada came to very much like this painting of Radha and Krishna together as one. But practically they are one. So this was the original expansion in the spiritual world of Srimati Radharani. So we must understand Srimati Radharani's position. She is not ordinary living entity. She is a special Shakti of the Supreme Personality, Sri Krishna. So we, Gaudiya Vaishnavas are very fortunate to be able to have the mercy of Radha and Krishna. Formerly there was not so much worship of Radha and Krishna, the Lakshmi Narayan, or just Krishna, or Vishnu, or the different incarnations, Lord Nrsimhadev. But as far as Radha Krishna worship, this is made possible by the mercy of especially of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, is Radha and Krishna combined together. It's Krishna coming to experience the mood of Srimati Radharani. He wanted to know how much love Srimati Radharani has for him, so he came in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in our line of Sampradaya, our Gaudiya line, it's very important to understand Lord Chaitanya, who he is, and of course going right back to Krishna, going back to Srimati Radharani. So just some Krishna Kantagana Deki Tri Vida Prakara. There are three different expansions of the female expansions from Krishna mentioned here. They're the goddesses of fortune, the Lakshmis, the queens in Dwarka, and the gopis, and of course the foremost is Srimati Radharani. It's actually said that the others all expand from Srimati Radharani. The gopis expand from Srimati Radharani. Then the Lakshmis expand, the queens expand from Srimati Radharani, and even all other forms of female actually expand originally from Srimati Radharani. So on one side is the female. Now Krishna's immediate expansion on the male side is Lord Balaram. So on one side is Radharani, on the other side is Lord Balaram. He is the immediate expansion on that side. So as far as loving affairs and Ladini Shakti, she is the guru. She is the guru. It said Lord Balaram, he is the guru how to serve Krishna. He comes and he serves Krishna and all the different rasas. He teaches us how to serve Krishna in the Shankaras, in the Dasaras, in the Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, even as a name of Manjari, in the Madhuryaras. He shows in all the rasas how to serve Krishna. But if you want to know how to become most intimate and develop love, an intimate love for Krishna, prema, this is to be learned from Srimati Radharani. So there are many different stories of how Srimati Radharani appeared in this world. Krishna came to her one time and said that now it is time for us to do our Leela in this world. And so at the different times when Krishna and Radha appeared, sometimes they appear a little bit in different situations. One situation, one story is given in the Shastras that when her father, King Vrishabhanu, and the mother Kirtila, King Vrishabhanu one time went to bathe in the river Jamuna, and as he was bathing, he was in the river Jamuna up to his neck, and he saw floating down a very effulgent lotus flower with 1,000 petals. And as he was looking more closely, that when it floated, it touched him, and he looked inside in the middle of the world, there was a little baby girl. A little baby girl was there, and that little baby girl was Srimati Radharani. So then he took her home and showed his wife Kirtila. This is Srimati, there's a little baby. No one seems to be owning this little baby. We should take this little baby. So there was one occasion was like that. Another occasion is that because Vrishabhanu and Kirtila didn't have any children, they prayed to the goddess Katyayani to be able to get the children. So he was praying, he went to the Jamuna also, he was praying, and then she spoke to him, she appeared and she spoke to him. Without pleasing the Guru, one cannot actually make advancement in anything. So you must accept the Guru, then I will give you my blessings. So he went and approached one guru, his name was Krapi Muni, and he wanted to become his disciple and take initiation mantra from him and beg for the mantra. Actually, Krapi Muni gave him the Hare Krishna mantra. So you chant this mantra. So he was chanting this mantra, and for a long time. Then Goddess Katyani appeared to him and was carrying a golden, oval-shaped container. And she said, this golden-shaped container I'm giving to you, there is a baby inside here, a beautiful baby girl. And when he opened, he saw that Srimati Radharani was inside. And that was, so there's different appearances and different times Radharani has come. She's appeared in various different ways. Another story, she appeared in some of the Vindhya mountains and so on. There's so many different stories like that. But now in the beginning, when Radharani was there, the day after Radharani appeared, then there was a big ceremony in the house of King Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, and many of the inhabitants of Vrindavan came there to see the new little baby girl. And she was so beautiful. She was golden color. Actually, it is said that Srimati Radharani, her hue is like molten gold. It's actually not a color of this world. You cannot see it with these eyes. But the description is just like gold, but when you melt it, when they melt it with heat, it becomes like shining hot. And there's another color altogether. So her hue is like the molten gold. And it's said actually, wherever Srimati Radharani walks, all the stones turn to gold where she's walking. One time, Balaram was looking for Krishna, and he was following Krishna's footprints. And you can see Krishna's footprints because on the soles of Krishna's feet there's all the different symbols where he walked, you can see like that. So he was following, but then, now Balaram's color is like white, but crystal white. Not a color of this world actually. He's got like crystal white color. So it is said wherever Balaram walks, all the rocks turn to crystal. So he was walking and the rock, everything was becoming crystal. And then he was following Krishna's footsteps, but then all of a sudden he saw some golden stones joining the footprints of Krishna. Oh, and he said, oh, now Radha is with Krishna. So that's not disturbed. So then he stopped following the footprints of Krishna, and he understood that Srimati Radharani was with Krishna. So there's a very intimate exchange. And so Lord Balaram, he doesn't interfere in that type of exchange on that level. So this is the color of Srimati Radharani. But when she was born, she was a very beautiful girl. The most Narad Muni came, he had heard before that he came in the previous day, and he wanted to see little baby Radha, and he saw her, he just fainted. He fainted. And she was so beautiful. He'd never seen any girl so beautiful, any baby so beautiful as Srimati Radharani. And then the next day, everyone came. Now, when they all came, now at that time actually, they hadn't noticed before, but King Vrishabhanu and Kirtida had noticed that her eyes were closed, and they thought she wasn't responding to any noise, and she wasn't responding to any visual. And they thought that, well, the girl is blind. She is blind. So they prayed to everyone, please bless our child that in time she will gain her sight, that she doesn't remain blind. And they thought even she was deaf even because she wasn't responding to any. So we are very worried that our child is like this. So please bless us that our little baby girl will have a vision, will be able to hear. So at that time, of course, Nanda and Maharaj Nanda and Jasoda came there, and they came to see the little girl. And Jasoda was looking from a distance. Just at that time, Krishna went off the lap of Mother Jasoda, and he crawled over to Srimati Radharani, and he touched her eyes. Little baby Krishna, he crawled and he touched her eyes. As soon as he touched her eyes, then she opened her eyes. And she was seeing only Krishna. Now previously, in the spiritual world, when Krishna had told Radharani, now now is our time for the Leela in the world. She told him that, oh, I don't want to see so many other things. I only want to see you. So Krishna said, don't worry. The first thing you see when you come to the world will only be me. This is why she was having her eyes closed like that. And another story is that actually, on another time she came, that Krishna, Mother Jasoda was there with Krishna on her lap. And then she wanted to pick up baby Radha. So she put Krishna down and she picked up baby Radha and was looking at baby Radha very fondly. And then Krishna began to cry. He was crying because he'd been put down and only Radha was on Mother Jasoda. So then she picked him up as well. And she had Radha on one side and Krishna on the other side. And at that time, Krishna touched her eyes and she opened her eyes. So this is the appearance of Srimati Radharani, the most beautiful girl. It is said that Krishna, he is very exquisite. Krishna has got many wonderful qualities over and above even other expansions and incarnations, just like Leela Madhurya and Prema Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya. Leela Madhurya is wonderful pastimes, unparalleled pastimes. Venu Madhurya plays wonderful flute. The three types of flute play different tunes. And then, of course, Prema Madhurya, the love of Krishna for his devotees' love for him is unparalleled. And then, of course, Rupa Madhurya, the form of Krishna is very exquisite. Every single part of the body of Krishna is perfection. If you just, the whole form of the body of Krishna is perfection. Even if you look at each part of the body, the lotus eyes of Krishna are just perfection. The eyebrows, the hair of Krishna, the moon-like face, the lips of Krishna, the pearl teeth of Krishna, the ears of Krishna, the long lobes, the beautiful neck of Krishna, the big wide chest. Krishna has a very wide chest when it comes to the V. Many men like to have the V, have the muscles in the V. And quite often when we get older, it goes to the A. But Krishna has a V, the thin waist, chest, long arm, very long arm, very powerful, long arms to the knee. Krishna's arms. Very beautiful hands. Even his fingernails are glowing, very effulgent, as you see. And long legs, beautiful lotus feet. So every part, Krishna has a very long eyes, what's called shunt eyes. I mean, they go around a long way to the ears. So Saint Radharani is saying, every part of her form is perfection. Beautiful eyes, beautiful face, beautiful hair. The skin is so perfect. Everything is perfect. She also has the shankai. They don't stop like our eyes stop here. Their eyes, they go around the side. Sometimes you read the description, the sidelong glances. Radharani doesn't have to turn her head to look at her, she just looks like this. This is what's meant by sidelong glances, sidelong. They're just looking, and Krishna's looking at her. So very, very wonderful form, and then I noticed here that you have the wonderful qualities of Srimati Radharani, the fresh youth. She is the shelter of the devotees. She is very sweet, and also can be very cunning. She is with the gopis is what's called the right-wing gopis. The right-wing gopis are they're very dutiful. They like to be very respectful and subservient. But then we have the left-wing gopis. So Radharani is the left-wing gopi. And sometimes she's subservient, but sometimes she doesn't want to follow exactly. And she lets Krishna know. And sometimes she becomes a little fiery. And she becomes a little angry with Krishna. And Krishna enjoys that. He enjoys having that relationship with Srimati Radharani. She is the best of all the gopis. There are many other beautiful gopis. They actually all expanded from Srimati Radharani. Chandravali is the most beautiful. She is the next most beautiful, Chandravali. But Radharani, just to hear her name, Krishna goes into trance. So today is the auspicious anniversary of her appearance. So we take an opportunity to glorify Srimati Radharani. We beg for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada always said that if you can get the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then automatically Krishna will be very affectionate to you. Just like in Vrindavan, they always chant the name of Radha. Jai Radhe, everywhere in Vrindavan, Jai Radhe. She is the queen of Vrindavan. Jai Radhe. And always we say Radha's name is first. Radha Gopinath, Radha Govinda. We never say Govinda Radha. We don't say Gopinath Radha. Always Radha Krishna, Radha Gopinath, Radha Govinda, Radha Mama. Always she is number one. And so it's very, very important to understand this position. So there's many nice stories also of the interaction. I was just reading this morning one beautiful story of how when Radharani and the gopis would go and try to sell their sweets in the market. So they used to have to go around one road, and then every day they would go, and then Krishna would always stand there and block the way. And he said, no, you have to give me some of your yogurt. No, we can't. We've got to go sell all these products in the market. No, I won't let you pass unless you give me some of the yogurt. So, they didn't want to give, but he would take it. And he would only eat the cream of the yogurt, the top part, and he would leave the other part. So then they would look at him, how we can sell this now? No one's going to buy it. When you buy the yogurt, you have to have the cream also. But you are eating just the cream and leaving the other part. So he would do this every day. So the gopis and Srimati Radharani were getting very, very disturbed. So Lalita suggested actually Krishna is coming every day that road. So let us go the long way. It is a long way, the other road. We'll take the other road. And he won't know. And we'll go even as long as, don't worry, at least we can go there and sell the milk sweets. So they made the plan, and so they went off the long road, going around. But of course Krishna, he's the supreme personality, he knows everything. So he was waiting, hiding in the tree. And he had some of his friends, he had some of his Gopa friends, they were hiding in the tree also. So the gopis, they were going on and they were thinking, we've fooled Krishna now, he's not here. And they were getting closer and closer, but he was in the tree. And as they go coming, he jumped down from the tree. And he said, do you think you can fool me? I know everything. And so Radharani became a little angry. You're not getting anything today. Don't think that this will stop us. And she tried to go around and force it. And she pushed past Krishna. You're not getting anything. And Krishna became angry and he picked up one stone, and Radharani was carrying the pot of the yogurt on her head. And he threw the stone on the pot, and the pot broke and all the yogurt fell and went all over Radharani. So then he was going there and he was scooping it up off the body of Radharani and he was eating it. It got the extra flavour of the scent of Srimati Radharani's body. I was just reading that beautiful story this morning about Srimati Radharani and Krishna. But there's very wonderful stories. Of course, as I said, she's left-wing gopi. Sometimes she's very submissive to Krishna. Other times she lets Krishna know when he is displeasing her. And the rasa is called the Svakya and Parakya rasa. And so the Svakya rasa is in the married relationship, and the Svakya, the Parakya rasa is not in the married relationship. Now, this is not very easily understood, especially by those who are not devotees, and even for the beginning devotee, it is not very much understood. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we were discussing Radha Krishna pastimes, we would only discuss it with a very small group of confidential devotees. Even when other devotees came there, if they were discussing Radha Krishna pastime, he would stop talking and he would stop the conversation, because this is very confidential. Actually, Radha and Krishna are eternally united. There's no question of Krishna actually being married to anyone else. He is always with Srimati Radharani. And for his Leela, he's marrying others. But actually they are eternally united. So even it's technically it's called Parakiya, Sakya and Parakiya means not of husband and wife, but of the paramour. And this is therefore further enhancement of the love. And there's an anticipation, there's a more of the thrill. So Krishna puts that into the situation to enhance their loving affairs. So this is not very, as I said, not easily understood by people who are not devotees, and even for beginning devotees. It takes one very, very advanced. And Prabhupada actually told us that for the general people, don't discuss these things openly about Radha and Krishna, especially the intimate pastimes. Of the intimate pastimes, it is said that Rasa Leela, the dancing of Radha and Krishna, is very exquisite. It's considered the topmost of all the rasas. The Rasa Leela dance in the middle of the night, the full moon, different times, Krishna, Radha and Krishna dance. And Srimati Radharani, just like Krishna plays flute very nicely, Srimati Radharani plays all different type instruments very excellent. She also plays flute. Very wonderful flute player. She plays different sarod, so many different other instruments. She knows how to play the mridanga or the different drums. She can dance also very nicely. All the gopis can dance very nicely, different ragas and different styles of dancing. They all dance very, but there's one dance that Radharani does exclusively for Krishna, and at that time all the gopis stop to watch this dance of Srimati Radharani, because no one else can do it, only Srimati Radharani can do it. And so even Krishna watches it, he watches practically, he's in a trance watching this dance that Srimati Radharani does. All the gopis are watching the dance of Srimati Radharani. She's expert in everything. You know, some people, they're good at all things. Whatever they do, they're good at. So Srimati Radharani is like that. Whatever she does is perfection. Cooking, she's expert in the cooking. Mother Desai used to call her to cook for Krishna. She got the boon from Devasa Muni, you know that story. That one time she was cooking for Devasa Muni, and she cooked a very special sweet rice for him. And he was so pleased, he said, I'll give you the blessing that whatever you cook will be exquisite, will be topmost. No one can match you in the cooking. So she's very, very beautiful, but she only has eyes for Krishna. She's always crying for Krishna. And so, now we have to understand that Krishna is not an ordinary person, as I said, Radharani is not an ordinary person. In the spiritual world, it is said that Krishna is simultaneously engaged in his pastimes of Vrindavan in the younger boyhood age, and then he's simultaneously engaged in pastimes in Mathura and simultaneously in Dwarka. So there's Krishna of Dwarka and Krishna of Mathura and Krishna of Vrindavan. So this is all in Goloka Vrindavan of the spiritual world. These realms exist in Goloka Vrindavan of the spiritual world. So that Krishna is in Dwarka, and simultaneously that Krishna is in Mathura, simultaneously that Krishna is in Vrindavan. And of course Radharani specifically is in Vrindavan. And the gopis are in Vrindavan. They don't go out of Vrindavan. Sometimes you read, when they come to this world, they went to the solar eclipse, they heard Krishna was going there, they went there that time. But maybe they don't go. When Krishna left Vrindavan, the Acharyas explained that why didn't the gopis and Srimati Radharani just go with Krishna? But they explained that no, two reasons. One reason was that Krishna said he would be right back very soon, which he didn't come back very soon. But then another reason is that actually they felt that it would not be the same. If they were with Krishna in Mathura, it would not be the same mood. If they were with Krishna in Dwarka, it would not be the same mood. In Vrindavan, everything is very spontaneous. The love is very high, very intimate, confidential, very intimate love. And there's no mood of awe and reverence, just like in Dwarka, there can be some awe and reverence. There's no mood like that. So they felt that it wouldn't be the same as going, so we will not go there. We will not accompany Krishna there. So in the spiritual world, he's there in different forms, in different in the different places. But Srimati Radharani, she is in Vrindavan. And when they came to this mature world, she was separated from Krishna for 100 years. 100. That goes back, there's a whole story about there was a curse from the brother of Sridham, was a brother, is a brother, and there was some quarrel between her and the brother. Actually, Krishna was with Srimati Radharani, and then he decided to go and visit another gopi by the name of Viraja. And so the gopis came and told Srimati Radharani, you know your Krishna is with another gopi, Viraja. So Radharani became most upset. How can he go with another gopi? So at that time, Viraja and Krishna were together, and then she came out, and she went out with so many gopis to go and chastise Krishna. And so, but as they were coming, Krishna knew, and he just disappeared. And Viraja, she saw Radharani coming, and she became a river. She became the Viraja. She turned herself into a river. So Radharani was there, and she was talking, Krishna, I know you purposely disappeared, and Viraja, I know you become a river. This is not very good. But she saw how beautiful the area was that Viraja was saying, and she could understand Viraja, she knew Viraja was very beautiful, and her place was very beautiful. So when she went back to her kunja, she decorated very nicely, and she made a river around. And it was like an island. And this goes to the story of how Navadvip, Sridham Mahaprabhu Navadvip came into existence when she made a beautiful island, very, very beautiful, in so many different areas, and decorated in so many ways, surrounded by a river. And when Krishna came, he saw it, and he said that this is so beautiful, you made this area so beautiful, it is like Vrindavan. It is like a Nava. It is like a Navadvipa. It is an island, and I will call it Navadvipa. So actually, this goes to the story that how actually Mayapur is non-different. It is actually the desire, is manifested by the desire of Srimati Radharani. So we have a connection. We have connection there between Sridham Mayapur, Navadvip, and Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so it's very, very wonderful. So we can tell so many different stories. Of course, Srimati Radharani, she's eternally tied to Krishna. There's one story how actually Lord Brahma came one time and actually married Radha and Krishna when they were of a young age. But externally, it seems that she is married to Abhimanyu, and she's living, like I said, that Abhimanyu is actually expansion of Krishna. And that Radha is a shadow of the original Radha. She is the one that's with Abhimanyu. So I can tell, do you want to hear any more story from about Radha and Krishna?
Yes,
Well, I'll tell one story. One time, Abhimanyu, Radharani's husband, she was staying at home, and of course, Jyotila and Kutila, Jyotila is the mother-in-law, and Kutila is the sister. They knew how much affection Radha actually had for Krishna, so they were very careful not to allow Radharani to go to Krishna. So Abhimanyu was away, and Krishna found out that Abhimanyu was away, so he disguised himself exactly looking like Abhimanyu. He transformed himself into Abhimanyu. So then he went there, and then his mother saw him, and she said, "Oh, you're back early. I thought you were going to go away for the whole day, but you come back very early." And so he said, "Yes, yes." And the whole affair ended very, very quickly. So then Krishna, disguised as Abhimanyu, was able to go and be inside with Srimati Radharani. But Jyotila and Kutila thought it was Abhimanyu there. That was all right. But actually it was Krishna in disguise. So Radha and Krishna were inside and engaging in beautiful exchanges. And then Krishna looked out and saw the real Abhimanyu coming, walking back. So I thought, oh, this is going to be trouble. And the real Abhimanyu. So he ran out and he ran to Jyotila, the mother-in-law. And he said, look, this Krishna is so sneaky. He's disguised himself as me and he's coming here just to try to steal away Srimati Radharani. So Jyotila and Kutila became very angry. Jyotila took up a broom. She went running after him and she was hitting him over the head. How dare you, Krishna, come here and try to disguise yourself as my son? Get away! Get away! Because Abhimanyu was crying, Mother, it's me, what are you doing like this? Very beautiful story. And another time, Krishna was snuck in with Srimati Radharani when Abhimanyu was away. And then Kutila had heard some voices inside. And she thought, this is Krishna's voice inside here. And so she ran inside, but Krishna disappeared. Only Radha was there. And then when she looked again, she saw some flute. She said, ah! Krishna's been here, hasn't he? So she marched her Radharani outside, took her to Jyotila, and she said, look, Krishna's been here, he ran away, but I have the flute, here's his flute. And so Jyotila was chastising Radha, how could you do that? Be with Krishna, how do you do that? To actually call all the ladies of the village, just see what this Srimati Radharani had her head down. All of a sudden, Purnamasi came there. Purnamasi came there. What's all the fuss about? This Radharani, she brought shame to the family. See what she's done. She's with Krishna. So, how do you know she was with Krishna? Well, here's the proof, here's the flute. Well, and Purnamasi started laughing. Oh, what are you laughing? It's a serious matter. And she said, you're so foolish. Don't you know that last night it was raining flutes? All over Vrindavan, there's flutes. And she said, we didn't know that. Yes, flutes everywhere. And then she said, come with me, I'll show you. And wind came and blew the flutes everywhere. And she went to, like, I'll show you, there must be some flutes in New York. And she went to the home of Kutila. And they went inside, and in the bedroom of Kutila, there was flutes all over. Then she went to Jyotila, and said, oh, there's some flutes here also. There are flutes everywhere. Why are you unnecessarily accusing Srimati Radharani? So then the king could be very ashamed of all the big mistake. So one last story before we go to the next section, as we just keep and one last story is famous story is the Rajgat that this happened at Manasiganga. That again, Srimati Radharani and the gopis wanted to sell the milk sweets in the market. So they had to cross over Manasiganga. At that time, Manasiganga was very, very big. And so you have to take a boat across. Just on this particular day, there's generally many boatmen, but just for some reason, only one boatman was there. And actually, this boatman was Krishna disguised as a boatman. So Krishna was disguised as the boatman, so when they came there, we need to go across the other side. So Krishna said, disguised as the boatman, he said that, well, I don't know. You know, actually, I'll take you across, but I have to wash the feet of one of you gopis and put water on my head. And so they all said, no, we're not going to allow you to wash our feet and put the water on your head. And which gopi do you want to? And he pointed to Radha. I want to wash the feet of this gopi. And Radharani says, no way you're going to wash my feet. They said, well then, I can't take it. So then they were looking at each other and Radharani said, no, we've got no choice. So then Krishna brought some water from the Manasiganga and washed Srimati Radharani's feet. And then he sprinkled some on the bowl, sprinkled some on his head, sprinkled some on the Manasiganga also. Then everyone got in the boat. And then Krishna was rowing across, and it was getting a bit, Krishna created a wind, so it was getting very swayy like this. Very swayy, and it got very rough. And then the roughness of the boat, Radharani went falling, and she had to grab the boatman and grab onto him and hold onto him, so Krishna was very happy. Krishna sometimes does these tricks. And just like I was giving a class on Julan Yatra, Krishna sometimes, he was swinging the swing so hard and so high that one time there's a description where he swung this way, went right over the top. Went right over the top, and Radharani was holding on to him, crying, Krishna, don't swing so hard. And so Krishna was very happy because she happened to grab him like that. So on this occasion, she was grabbing him. And then everything became calm, and then he kept rowing. And then he put down the oars. And Radharani said, what's the matter? He said, oh, this morning I didn't have any breakfast, and I'm feeling very weak. I don't have enough strength to row anymore. No, you have to row more. We give you some good money, you have to. No, what can I'm too weak to row. Give me some of your sweets so I get some strength. No, we're not going to. We have to sell these sweets in the market. Well, this is you can't. You have to know which way how to go. Otherwise, the currents can take you in all directions. So you won't be able to do it. Only I can do it. So then they were looking at it and said, "All right, give him some sweets." So then they gave him some sweets. Still feeling a little bit hungry. Can I have a little bit more? So then gradually, he was eating so many sweets. Practically, there was nothing left. And then he started to row, but then he again put down the oars again. He said, what's the matter now? Oh, now I'm feeling sick. I had too many sweets. So then Srimati Radharani, she said to Lalita, go and see if you can help him. So then when she went over, other gopis went over, they were trying, they were opening up his coat, had a big long coat, and opening up and then out from the coat popped a flute. And they said, this is Krishna's flute. Krishna has specific flutes. This is Krishna's flute. You are Krishna. So then the jig was up. So then they all were actually laughing. Externally, Radharani was very angry, but internally she was very happy. And Krishna was there. So Srimati Radharani ki jai, Radhastami ki jai, Om Premanande.